everyone, welcome to back my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. Hollyoaks has revealed new evidence about Ethan Williams' death in the show's latest episode. After Ethan fell from a balcony to his death on his wedding day, his wife Sienna was charged with his murder and has spent the last few weeks in prison as a result. But this was only because Robbie and Vicky paid the wedding photographer to give a false statement to the police, saying that he saw Sienna pushing Ethan. Last week, Jez discovered the truth, and he told the pair to put things right, to help get his daughter out of prison. In today's episode, the village prepared to hold a wake for Ethan and the dog. Maxine had been to her uncle's funeral, but the Blake family were not allowed to attend. When Maxine spoke about Sienna's guilt, Jez told her that the main witness has retracted her statement, leaving her furious that Sienna might get away with the crime. At the wake, Robbie threatened Jez not to tell anyone that he paid the photographer, and Jez assured him that his lips were sealed. Maxine began giving an emotional speech about Ethan, but she was interrupted by a dramatic arrival from Sienna, who had been released from prison. As Sienna explained that the case against her had fallen apart, she and Maxine ended up at odds. Maxine was still convinced that Sienna was responsible for Ethan's death. She reminded Sienna of her past with Warren and Rafe, using it as proof that she killed Ethan in a rage. But Sienna remained adamant that she was innocent and was heartbroken by her husband's death. Later, Dilly and Liberty reflected on the day's events, happy to have Sienna home. Dilly found a pile of photos from Sienna and Ethan's wedding that Sebastian took and Liberty had just developed. As Dilly flicked through the photos, she was shocked to discover a blurry image that seemed to show the moment Ethan was pushed to his death. With Dilly and Liberty now having second thoughts, did Sienna really kill Ethan? Here's a creative take on Hollyoaks uncovering new evidence about Ethan Williams' death, written in a dramatic and suspenseful style. The village had always been a hive of secrets, but the revelations surrounding Ethan Williams' death shook even the most seasoned schemers. Early streaming viewers were treated to a bombshell episode that promised to unravel more than just one life. The story began with Sienna Blake standing in the heart of her flat, her phone trembling in her hand, as she played the audio recording sent anonymously. The distorted voice revealed cryptic details about Ethan's final moments, information no one outside the investigation could have known. "Meet me at the old railway bridge. Midnight. Come alone," the message concluded. Sienna's stomach churned with unease. It had been months since Ethan's death, a tragedy the police had reluctantly chalked up to a botched robbery gone wrong. But Sienna had always suspected otherwise. Ethan wasn't just some random casualty, he had enemies, people who wanted him out of the picture. And now, someone was dangling the truth in front of her like bait. The evidence emerges. Meanwhile, at the Lomax house, DSO Anderson pored over the newly reopened case files. A sleepless night and a hunch had led her back to square one. A fragment of evidence, a smudged fingerprint on Ethan's watch, had recently been reanalyzed, thanks to advances in forensic technology. The result? A match to someone unexpected. Felix Westwood. Felix, the enigmatic club manager with a shady past, was no stranger to controversy. But could he have killed Ethan? Zoe didn't want to jump to conclusions, but the evidence demanded answers. She closed the file, grabbed her keys, and headed to the loft, where Felix had just opened for the night. Confrontations and confessions. At the loft, Felix was unusually tense, casting wary glances at the door. When Zoe entered, he stiffened. "Detective," he said coolly, "what brings you here? Or do I already know?" "Let's skip the small talk," Zoe replied, pulling out a photo of Ethan's watch. "This was found at the scene. Your fingerprints on it. Care to explain?" Felix's jaw tightened. "Ethan and I had dealings. Not all of them above board. That doesn't mean I killed him." "So why didn't you mention your connection to him during the investigation?" Zoe pressed. Felix leaned closer, lowering his voice. "Because the truth is messy, detective. And messy gets people killed. Before Zoe could respond, Felix's phone buzzed. A text message flashed on the screen. She knows. Handle it. A midnight meeting. Sienna arrived at the railway bridge as the clock struck midnight. The air was thick with tension, every shadow a potential threat. A figure emerged from the darkness, their face obscured by a hood. "You came," the stranger said, their voice familiar yet unplaceable. They handed Sienna an envelope. Inside was a photograph of Ethan, seemingly taken the night he died. He was standing with Felix and another man, a face that made Sienna's blood run cold. It was Warren Fox. "You're lying," Sienna said, her voice wavering. "Warren wouldn't." "Wouldn't what?" The figure interrupted. "Wouldn't betray you? Wouldn't kill to protect his secrets. You know better than that." Sienna's mind raced. Warren and Ethan had clashed before, especially over dodgy deals and Warren's controlling nature. But had it really gone this far? Before she could ask more, the stranger vanished into the night, leaving Sienna alone with her thoughts and the damning photograph. Unlikely alliances. The next day, Sienna stormed into the loft, confronting Felix in full view of the patrons. "You lied to me," she hissed, shoving the photograph into his chest. "You and Warren were with Ethan that night." Felix grabbed her arm, dragging her into the back office. "Keep your voice down. Do you want to get us both killed?" "So it's true," Sienna said, her voice breaking. "You were there." Felix sighed, running a hand through his hair. "We didn't mean for it to happen. Ethan was supposed to disappear, not die." "What do you mean?" Sienna demanded. Felix hesitated before admitting. Warren set up a fake deal to scare Ethan into leaving the village. But Ethan fought back, and things got out of hand. Sienna's head spun. "So who killed him?" Felix's eyes darkened. "That's why I don't know. I left before it turned ugly, but Warren stayed behind." A dangerous game. Zoe, now armed with Felix's partial confession, went to confront Warren. She found him at the dog, nursing a pint and watching the crowd like a predator. "You've been busy, haven't you?" she said, sliding into the seat across from him. Warren smirked. "Always a pleasure, Detective Anderson. What do you want?" "Answers," Zoe said, her tone sharp. "Felix told me everything. You were with Ethan the night he died." Warren's smirk vanished. "Felix talks too much." "So it's true," Zoe pressed. "Did you kill Ethan?" Warren leaned in, his voice low and menacing. "Careful, detective. Accusations like that could ruin your career." But before he could say more, Zoe pulled out her trump card. A recording of Felix's confession, obtained with a hidden wire. Warren's face darkened as he realized the walls were closing in. The shocking twist. As Zoe prepared to arrest Warren, a commotion erupted outside the dog. Sienna arrived, clutching the photograph she'd been given. "Wait," she shouted. "You've got it wrong." Zoe frowned. "What are you talking about?" Sienna turned to Warren. "You didn't kill Ethan, did you?" Warren's silence spoke volumes. "It was the person who sent me this," Sienna continued, holding up the photo. "They've been playing us all along." The truth hit like a thunderclap. The hooded figure, the cryptic messages, the planted evidence, it all pointed to someone manipulating the investigation from behind the scenes. But who? To be continued. The episode ended with a chilling cliffhanger. As Zoe and Sienna pieced together the fragments of the mystery, the camera panned to a shadowy figure watching from afar. They held a burner phone, their lips curling into a sinister smile. "Let the games begin," they whispered as the screen faded to black. Early viewers were left reeling, with social media buzzing about the potential suspects. Was it someone from Ethan's past, or a familiar face with a hidden agenda? One thing was certain, the truth about Ethan's death was far from over, and the village of Hollyoaks would never be the same. Thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe our Hollyoaks Update YouTube channel for more update news.